Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Have another ECM test. This time working on a 2009 Audi S5 4.2 liters V8. This is a manual transmission. This is coming from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Nick, this is your computer. He sent this to test due to a short he had on the car. So let me just show you the pictures of the damage. So he sent a picture, a printout. And he also said that broken harness goes straight to the ECM. All right, so he said the car was actually even starting, even with no ignition was set up on. So let me just read in here. So it says problem: long start, rough idle, backfires, low power, and engine stumbling under acceleration. EPC light on, check engine light on, traction control light on. Codes: P02294 fuel pressure regulator. And I want to also address that this is regulator 2, circuit low, and the P129B is actually part of that same circuit, and I'll show you that in a second. P2257 is secondary air injection. P0100 master flow sensor. P0031 O2 sensor heater, bank 1 sensor 1, and this is an error. I hope that probably just miss, or have the scanner give this number wrong, because he sent the same code number goes to bank 2 sensor 1, and that is not possible. All right, potential costs. During inspection, the harness running from the positive jump terminal under the hood to the starter was found resting on the axle. Several wires had been stripped or broken completely, which caused the starter to intermittently engage while driving, causing the car to stall. The starter will engage even with the vehicle turned off, indicating a signal wire for the starter was being powered by the 12-volt supply to the starter in the same harness. These wires were repaired. However, the lights and codes persist after clearing codes. The vehicle was in good working order before these wires were affected, which makes me think that 12 volts was applied directly to the ECU through the starter harness. I have included photos of the relevant harness damage, and we already saw that. One thing that I need to also address is I want you to see the cover of the computer, not burned, not damaged, and this is when a professional works in your computer. Please do not open these computers, which you will end up damaging the board, which is not the case in here. I did see some marks for the screwdrivers, and somebody tried to attempt to open it, but they stopped, which is great. Nick, I checked your computer and I see absolutely no damage whatsoever in it. I want to get closer to here so you guys can see the board is in perfect mint condition. If we have a short to anything, we will immediately see it on the board. And I checked already with my multimeter. I'm actually using the Fluke 289, which I'm very happy with this. And I'm following, one of those two sensor heater circuits is not shorted to ground. If I have a short, let me make sure I put the beep. I hope you can hear that. Short to ground, case ground, or to power, which we have voltage regulators in here. I will see that and hear it and know there is absolutely no trace damage. None of these circuits are interconnected. The only thing that is common, and this is what I want to show right now. I'm in Identifix with the color wire diagrams, because Identifix is taking information out that you now can only get if you call, which is making Identifix pretty useless. Not that you can get more out of it from, let's say, all data. All data it has the original diagrams, but they are really really basic. You cannot interact with them, not like in the color wire diagrams. And I have all the photo codes in here so I can check with what he sent. Let's just go into this P129B. Let's find out the P219B. I think I passed it. P129B right here. So if we see that, it says the P129B is fuel pressure regulator control circuit 2, right? So regulator 2, and it's it's the same as we have on the 2294, and it's also, if I go over to the 2294, let me just go there. I'm just doing this quickly so we can all see the information. So 2294, it says P2294 is fuel pressure regulator 2 circuit. So we are having a common issue into that. It's the same, pretty much the same full code. So what I did is I mapped out pretty much all the full codes that he gave me here to see what is in common denominator, because unless you have a complete burnout computers, which could, it can happen. I mean, you got multiple wires exposed and then can, short circuit and burn the computer. I don't see that. I checked the computer, it's not shorted. I can communicate, everything is good. So I just remove that and now I start doing some more testing with my multimeter, and I couldn't find any problems with your computer. So what I want you to see here is, okay, we got the massive flow sensor in here. So this is the massive flow sensor, and I just mark all the power. So we can see that the same power supply supplies the secondary air injection, which we got faults. Fuel meter in valve 2 and fuel meter in valve 1, they're all in the same power. We have also, if we go, well, let's go up to here, see where this power is coming from. It's coming from the relay fuse carrier on the E-box in the left plenum chamber E-box. So that also, if I follow, that's fuse number 5, that supplies those components that we saw there. If we go over to fuse 10 in the same box, and we go over to the right side of these, so let's follow that wire, right? So we're going to go over to that end. I'm just going a little fast, but we can see that these are also sensors, heater circuit power. So of course, if there's no power to the heaters, then it will be a problem. I have mapped out the control side because this full code is about the heater circuit, and there is no short. This is one of the circuits for those heaters, and it's not shorted. So the only thing that could be is an open or a short circuit low. The computer cannot see the activation. So I'm leaning towards believe that the problem that you have, Nick, in the car is on probably the E-box. If we follow the other wires that I have here, okay, so this is the one that goes to the massive flow sensors and those other ones. If we follow this other wire here, because this generic diagrams don't tell me, it just says behind three-way catalog converter. So behind is either after or before. What is behind? Behind depends on where you're seeing it. Could be before or after, right? So looking at the wires, we only have 4 wired O2 sensors in here, so I will believe that those are the monitoring, which is the downstream O2s. And the other O2s that we saw, there are 6 wires, so they're more like air fuel ratio or wideband O2s. So those are usually used before the catalog converter upstream part, right? So but it's still, so this power to the heaters, and this is another thing that I want to show on the color wire diagrams. These are rewrote or redrawn wiring. You can see the symbol in here is for the heater. This symbol in here is for the sensor. So you can have a power coming from a heater and then going into a sensor. So this should be on this side. So this is an error. And there is a lot of errors on Identifix. And not just on Identifix, on the redrawn, this is the same that Mitchell and Identifix uses. If I go over to all data, and let's go over to, let me just get vehicle, and we go to diagrams, colored. I want to show you that error is most likely in the same place because these are all used the same, and yes, it is. So let me just zoom in here. I'm going to select the same wire. So we have the power in here. So if we remove the rest of the wires, well, it kind of like removes that, but we can see the same error. So you see the heater symbol, and this is the sensor symbol, and then in here we got the sensor symbol and then the heater symbol. So same error. So they use the same company, and that's why the error will be across the board into all of the diagrams. So that's why I don't like to use wire diagrams non-original, but it is a problem to find the correct ones. If I go over going back to the problem, Nick, I think that your problem is in the E-box or in the harness. I don't know. I will suspect that you guys are checking the wires completely, since I don't have data coming from you, because these are just fault codes. So what your mechanic or technician needs to do is pick one. Let's say, auto sensor heaters are probably the simplest to do. All you need to have is a power and a ground, right? So the power should be constant with the ignition on. And if he wants to see an activation, I would just put a test light instead of the auto sensor heater and cycle the key. That should light up momentarily, should light up, trying to warm up the heater onto bank 1 sensor 1 and bank 2 sensor 1. And then you know what are you missing. If you have a constant power, well, then right there you know the power is not the issue. So we have a control issue. Okay, well, then follow that wire all the way to the DME, or the engine computer, which for the upstreams O2s are in pin 73 and pin, let me see, this is in connector T60, T94 and pins 73. And then if I go over to the other wire, it's in the same T94 and pin 51, which is that one that I have right there. So this is a problem. Then you need to do more data, gather that data. I will consider, and I will, request that please write down the results. So power to P0, power to bank 1 sensor 1 O2 sensor heater, check as 12 volts with the key on and a battery charger. So explains everything as how you proceed with your test. Connecting a power supply to the car, and we have 13.5 volts, or 13 volts, or 12 volts, or 11, whatever it is. Perform a key on, and it was no actuation. We follow the wire all the way to pin 51. Remove the pin just in case you have a short, or disconnected the battery, because you have to do more testing, right? So you will have, I will recommend to disconnect the battery, disconnect the computer, disconnect the sensor, and check for continuity with a multimeter. Then use a test light with both components disconnected, and then supply, you will do a continuity to power before you do this with both disconnected. You can, let me just rephrase that. Before you disconnect the battery, right, you unplug these two, and you can use a multimeter to continuity to power. So if you touch this to the battery and it beeps, it's short to power. If you check to ground and it beeps, you got a short to ground, and you have to fix that. But if all that passes, then let's do the next test with both components disconnected, which this is a straight wire to the sensor, right? I will put this side to ground with a, just a cable connected to that pin to ground. And then on the other side, if I follow that alone, right? So we are going up to this here. I will be in pin 3 of that O2 sensor, and I will use my test light connected to battery positive. So one side of the test light connected to battery positive, and if I touch this, since I'm supplying a ground on the other side, that should light up. If you light up, you have no open wire. So now you can write all that down. If you write all that down, then I will have to completely go into deeper more and then reconnect this computer and find out more. But I honestly doubt that we have an issue in the computer for what I experienced in here. Intermittent faults like this is very hard to reproduce. I need more data from your Nick and from your mechanic. Based on what I found, is not an issue here. I want to show you, if I go over to fault codes, we have motor, let me just see, motor diagrams, and let me show you what Identifix has now here. So if I go over to engine, they give you just a list of stuff. Let's say if I go over to engine control, oxygen sensor in black and white, these are black and white, and that's it. That's all you have. Before, they used to have interactive diagrams, and let me just show you. This is Identifix removing information so they don't pay more, and they collect the same money from us. All right, so but that's all I get. All right, Nick, this is all I can do for you this time. Your computer is testing is good, so I will be posting your video, send it your way, and then send the computer back as soon as possible. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.